Hi, everyone. This is Christine Thompson with Baird & Warner. Thanks for hanging in there and waiting for me to start my weekly show talking about what's happening in the real estate market. And I use Naperville as my subject base for the week over week comparisons. So all of you that have been watching it, you know the format, but for those of you that are new to the show, just want to let you know every week I use the same types of graphs, and that way you can see week over week the differences of what's happening in the market and different aspects of the market. And if you are ever thinking that there's a piece of information that I haven't provided that you would really like to have, just call or DM me. All my information is right here on the screen, and you know how to reach me there. Okay, so I'm going to get started. I'm going to screen share so that way you can see all the graphs that I have to share with you. And here we go. All right, so we are looking at, I'm going to start this little slideshow here so that way you can see that on full screen. So this is from a week ago, and the pie chart is obviously broken down to different categories. And the two that I like to focus on is the new, which is green. How many homes are new on the market in the last 7 days in Naperville? And this is for both attached and detached homes. So we had 95 coming new on the market. And then how many went off the market, went under contract? 102. So that's a spread right there. And I like to point out that even though this may say new, it's not all uniquely new properties that came on the market, because some of them may have already been on the market, but they wanted to do the marketing strategy of canceling it off the market and making it new, so it's give it some new life. So there's definitely a spread. Maybe it was 90 homes or maybe 85 homes. So we've got maybe a 20 up to a 20 house spread of more homes going under the market than were coming on. So that was a week ago. So let's take a look now. Now we had 94 come on the market and 91 go under contract. So it's kind of evening out there. Maybe it was a little less than 94, but pretty close to what went under market. So it's a slight softening in the market for sellers. Average days on the market, this was a week ago. And for active homes, they've been averaging 93 days on the market. Homes that went under contract averaging 75 days. So if the actives are sitting a little longer than what the homes under contract were sitting on the market, that could be lending towards the market softening a little bit. They're taking a little bit longer to sell. This week, 86 days average on the market versus 77 days going under contract. So we're seeing that same difference between how long it took homes to go under contract versus how long they're sitting on the market. Let's see how next week shows, okay? Then I like to look at, this is all detached homes in Naperville for the last week. This was a week prior that I shared these numbers. So you can see what the average list price was. That's what LP stands for. So for homes that sold, their average list price was $531 approximately. And homes that were still active on the market, their average list price was $628 approximately. So you can see 78 days versus 93 days. It's taking longer for the higher priced homes to sell off the market. And then homes that were under contract, their average list price was $552. So this is giving a little bit of a reflection of what's a more comfortable price range that there are more buyers shopping in Naperville for detached homes. Now for the sold prices, we can see what their average sale price was. 517, 333, whereas their list price was 552. So you can see there is still room for negotiations. So buyers, don't be scared. You can still go out there and still have some room to negotiate on price. Now keep in mind these are averages. Well, actually from 530 to 517. Sold homes, average list price 530, sold price average was 517. So there's a little bit of a difference there. It's not huge, but there is room for some negotiating. So sellers out there, pay attention to that too. It doesn't mean just whatever price you pick, it's going to go for that. You're probably finally catching on that it's a seller's market, but we'll look at the market action index needle to see how strong of a market it is. Now this week we can see that the under contracts were 547, the average list price was 513, and the average sold price was 502. So we're still seeing about a 10K difference between list price and sale price. So there is some negotiating going on between buyers and sellers. This is showing the average number of showings per listing that's out there and what's been happening. So we can see in August we were, a good solid number above one, between 1.37 and 1.55, and then September 18th and the 25th, those 2 weekends, it's dropped. This was lower, obviously at 1.18, and then we picked up a little bit at 1.25, but not performing as strong as we saw in August and earlier September. So let's see how that trend continues. That's why I like to show multiple weeks here to see what's happening there. This is the market action index needle that I like to point out. And this was last week. It was at 38. I do remember that prior to the September 21st, the couple weeks prior to that, it was also at 38. And this week we are still at 38. So we are not seeing any upward movement anymore. And thinking about what I was showing you earlier in these slides about how the number of active homes, number of homes going under contract, this very last week, it kind of stabilized. So there are some small indicators that are, somewhat indicating that maybe we're shifting away from that hot seller market and maybe it's starting to soften just a little bit. Interest rates. So last week we saw the conventional, I like to say that this is the conventional, the 30-year fixed rate, 3.01, and then the FHA rate 2.94, and now FHA has gone up to 3.08, and the 30-year fixed rate has gone up to 3.09. So it's inched up a little bit in the last week. So we're getting closer to elections. Let's see what happens after elections. So if you guys are watching and thinking, I got to have the rate at a certain number in order to afford the size house that I want and still keep my monthly budget to where I want it to be, get out there and start looking at the homes and make an offer, okay? There's not as much inventory out there. You may have to be a little bit more creative on what you can do with a home, so that way you can lock in this rate. It's still going to be more affordable than having to go in a home and have a few projects to fix up. So couple graphs or charts I like to share with you. What's happening across the country. Homes are still selling fast. There is a breakdown for all of the states here. So we can see that there's only one state that's taking a long time to sell homes, and that's in North Dakota. Don't know what's going on there, but maybe it's just too cold for everyone. And then there are no states that are taking 61 to 75 days. We don't really have anything at 46 to 60 days, but Alaska, Louisiana, Mississippi, they're taking 31 to 45 days to get homes sold off the market. That's about a fair buyer-seller market right there. And then all these other states, we're looking at 30 days or less. Nebraska's doing fantastic, only up to 15 days having a home on the market. So I guess that's becoming quite popular. And if anybody knows anything about Nebraska and any towns in there that people want to be moving to, let me know, because I'm shopping, man. Got to do that retirement in another decade or so. So I got to start doing my homework for where to retire. So love to hear what any of you guys are thinking. So that's interesting to see, overall and across the country, average 22 days for homes to be selling off the market. That's a seller's market. This is a prediction of what to expect going into the rest of 2020 and into 2021. People are asking, what should we be expecting going into the future? And these are resources that have been quite reliable over the years. So we like to look at them, and Freddie Mac is very optimistic that 2021 is going to do much better. Fannie Mae, they're optimistic too, expecting an increase. And the MBA source is also expecting it. And as well as NAR, National Association of Realtors. So all four of these sources are all predicting that home sales in the millions is going to increase from 20 to 2021. I know I've been hearing a lot about how new construction homes are doing very, very well. There's been a huge increase in it, and drive around your own town, you're probably seeing it. So that's my show for this week. I hope you really enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and be sure to share and like this video so other people can hear about it. And it will be uploaded into YouTube within 24 hours approximately. So if you're catching the tail end of the show and you missed it, don't worry, you can watch it on YouTube. Just search my name, Christine Thompson, Real Estate, and look for the thumbnail with me opening big blue doors, and it'll say weekly update right there in the thumbnail. Pretty easy to figure out, and you'll see a lot of them, and you can just catch the most recent one or watch a few of them if you want to see how things have been trending. So I appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, call, text, or DM me, and I'll be sure to get back to you. And I hope you all are doing great, staying healthy, and have plans for a great day. Make the most of it, you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.